We are kicking it off this Monday with Banking Redefined. So, building a solid foundation for your business is our topic, and let's go ahead and get started. So I want to start off by just sort of level setting us. We're all struggling through COVID-19. Some of us are faring a little bit better than others, but this is a global pandemic and it is affecting us in a myriad of different ways in our personal, in our professional lives, and just creating lots of new challenges for many of us to navigate. The reality is, crises, however, are part of our lives. Everybody has to face them. Often we're doing so at different times, and it doesn't really make any difference what the crisis is. And we thank Jack Nicholas for that quote. Banking and managing your money is even more important in this new normal. And so we are going to focus today on what are some of the benefits that can accrue to individuals and small business owners when trying to bank during a crisis. I hope that you will take from today a bit of optimism. John F. Kennedy shared with us many years ago that the word for crisis in Chinese is composed of two characters, one that represents danger, which we're all dealing with, the fears and the difficulties associated with that, and the other represents opportunity. And I am hoping that this webinar and this week of webinars will give you some ways in which you can start to think about opportunities as we all move forward through our new norm. We're starting off by identifying and acknowledging that there are 5 barriers to short and long-term financial recovery during a crisis. The first is navigating complicated documents. The second is overcoming limited access to credit. Number 3 is identifying and avoiding scams. Number 4 is locating the available resources when we need them. And number 5 is really managing the way we manage our money. The reality is each and every one of us is going to go through 3 to 5 of these barriers throughout the course of this crisis and any crisis in which we find ourselves. We have learned through research that certain skills are needed to handle these barriers. And so our goal and our journey today is how to think about crossing these barriers and getting to the other side of financial stability and empowerment, both for ourselves as consumers and for our small businesses. Our objective today is really to learn how to manage these barriers because doing so is really important to our business. One of the first things we're going to do is under navigating complicated documents is really finding out about check systems and how that it might be beneficial and assistive to us. The second is looking when we talk about limited access to credit is how we can open a safe and affordable account. When we talk about being aware of and avoiding financial scams, I think it's really important for us to learn and understand what our institution's protocols are and how we can contact customer service during those times. When we talk about available resources, I think many of us forget that financial institutions actually are involved and engaged with many different places and people in our community. And so it's really important to take a look and see what access points might be there for our businesses and for how we grow. And last but not least, again, is modifying the way we manage our money. Sometimes we may need help and assistance in doing that. And so one of the barriers that we can, or one of the ways we can overcome that barrier is really reviewing financial education resources and knowing how to access them. I hope that you will take from this today that tomorrow is too late. Yesterday is over, but now is exactly the right moment for us to get started on making a difference. So how do you navigate complicated documents? There are going to be a variety of ways in which you can do this, but for today, we're going to focus on one of the most prominent systems that people are familiar with, and that is check systems. We often hear people say they can't get a bank or credit union account because they're in the system. And I think a lot of folks don't really understand that this system, check systems, is something that they can also get access to the information and see what banks have reported about them. The point of check systems is to track consumer banking behavior when it comes to checking and savings accounts. What we're looking at, or what the banks are looking at, is how consumers are taking care of these accounts. Are they failing to pay any fees? Do they use the accounts properly? And one of the most important pieces of check systems is identifying participants in fraudulent activity. The reality is information for individuals in check systems remains for 5 years. You can, however, get a copy of your report if you believe that there may be some things on there, or if you have been told by a financial institution that they have to decline you because of information in your check systems. To do that, you can go and visit checksystems.com. That's CHEXSYSTMS.com. And if you do that, you will be taken to the opportunity to look at your consumer disclosure. You can order the report. You will have to answer a series of questions. And they do give you the option, once you have completed the information, to decide whether you would like to see that report electronically by getting it online, or whether you would like it to be delivered to you by mail. So I really encourage individuals, if you have not already, taken a look at check systems and you have been told or been declined in the recent past because of information on there, that you can take a look and you can certainly dispute any errors that you find. Please review your report carefully. Look at any identity theft issues, contact them about any unresolved accounts that might not be reported accurately. In addition, please remember to ask the financial institution that you have visited with why. Why were you declined? So that they can give you some insight into the issue. Bad information in check systems, please note, does not mean you cannot get a checking or savings account. It is important, however, to make sure you are able to explain to the bank or credit union member that you're working with why you're going to be able to do things differently, or to explain what happened and was different in the past. Do your research. I think it's really important for folks to understand that there are several different banking products that might be available. So Google different free business checking accounts, take a look, read some articles from reputable sources, and do your research to make sure that you are aware of all the different options that might be available to you when it comes to finding a business checking account that can meet your needs. When we talk about number 2, overcoming limited access to credit, what I really want to suggest is for those of you who have not opened a bank account yet, to please investigate and find safe and affordable banking options for you and your business. The reason is this: a history of good habits is important to building that relationship with your bank. And that relationship, a good relationship with your bank or credit union, increases the opportunities for you to get access to credit when and if you should need it. Access to credit helps people during difficult times manage financial hardships better. And being able to better manage those temporary hardships gives you an opportunity to succeed in the long term. So I really encourage you all to really think about, if you are not already using a bank account, how you can be successful in finding an account that can work for you and give you that most important first step in navigating towards a healthy relationship with a financial institution. The third thing we're going to look at is identifying and avoiding scams. Here, I really encourage you to learn what protocols might be available to you. Many financial institutions are required by law to keep accounts safe and protected from wrongdoing. They have many systems in place to protect your funds and your privacy. So please make sure you have the customer service number of your financial institution in your smartphone or in an easily accessible place. And check your account statements for unusual activity on a regular basis. It is important not just to look at the account balance, but to really look at the additions and subtractions to your account and to be able to identify each and every one of them. I think we often think of crimes involving scam and fraud of being larger than life. And sometimes they are. Sometimes a person will open their account and notice that $1,000 is missing or $300 is missing. But we can sometimes miss by not spending time looking at our accounts in detail the perpetrator of the fraud that's occurring when $30 are missing from our account or $50 are missing from our account on a infrequent basis. So please make sure that you spend some time again with your financial institutions and get to know what their protocols are.
Kylie,
Here's an example for
sorry, Kylie, we have a question if you'd like to answer it now.
sure.
Thank you. Does check systems affect our regular credit report?
No, check systems is different from your credit report from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So Check Systems is not a credit reporting agency. It is an agency that financial institutions report to share whether or not how you have been handling checking and savings accounts. So they are two different things, but you can get a copy of your Check Systems report.
Thank you. Keep the questions coming, everyone.
Um, So, what I wanted you to see here was that Bank of America, and I just happened to pick them, Bank of America actually has a security center. They want you to know your security is their top priority. They have instructions on how you can take simple steps to make sure you protect yourself. They have warning signs for common scams. They even have the opportunity for you to report suspicious activity on your card or let them know that you've misplaced your card so that they can lock and protect your account. If someone uses your account without your knowledge, please report it to your bank or credit union as soon as possible. The bank is obligated to investigate and refund money taken from your account fraudulently. You can also know that banks cannot charge you fees when there has been an unfortunate situation involving fraud on your account. And this happens to all of us from time to time. We lose something, a piece of identification like your driver's license or your state ID. In this day and age, if you happen to lose something of that nature, it is really important for you to notify the police using a non-emergency line when this happens. So it's really important to call them, contact them, and have that a report conducted so that if someone were to take your government issued ID and use it, there is a way to be able to protect yourself and say, I notified the correct authorities before obtaining a new one, that my old one had been taken or misplaced. Another important feature of spending time with financial institutions and using them to build your business is the fact that financial institutions have lots of partners in your communities. Many of their professionals are serving as mentors. They have strong management skills. They are subject matter experts. They write articles for blogs, deliver presentations, champion efforts in your local communities. Many of these institutions sometimes work together on a larger goal. These goals can include things like small business development projects, community development efforts. And so it's really important to have a sense of where your institutions are operating and who they are partnered with. So that if you need resources or assistance for your small business, you have some ideas for reputable agencies that you can contact should those needs arise. For here, I have suggested and just picked again institution I'm familiar with, Middletown Valley Bank. They do have business banking services, they have lending services, they have resources. And if you go down into the resources section, you can often scroll and see how they're involved and what projects might be of interest for them. Again, you can do this for many financial institutions from the comfort of your home, as many of them post these types of information on their websites, and it's publicly available information. Consumers who need help with services beyond banking can connect with the groups that your financial institutions work with. Several institutions, for instance, here in our Baltimore metro area, collaborate and connect and work together for the benefit of entrepreneurs and small business owners. Be More Collab is a new project for the Cash Campaign of Maryland. The Be More Collab is a one stop shop for individuals, small business and entrepreneurs who are looking to start or build their business and align them with their financial goals. Through four nonprofit organizations, you can get comprehensive services for a wide range of needs, such as business plan, connecting with mentors, accessing capital. As you see here, are the partners in addition to the cash campaign are Innovation Works, Kiva Baltimore, and Mission Launch. And in fact, we will have a presentation on Friday from Kiva, so definitely add that to your list if you have not already registered. We also have the opportunity to have several CDFIs here in our area. CDFIs are Community Development Financial Institutions funds. This is a program, so to speak, from the U.S. Department of the Treasury. And what the U.S. Department of Treasury does is work with different financial institutions who are designated as CDFIs to work to engage in specific areas of their community. One of those areas is small business development and identifying opportunities for growth for entrepreneurs so that we can make some changes in the way that our communities thrive and succeed. Here locally, MECU, Harbor Bank, Baltimore Community Lending, and Security Plus Federal Credit Union are just some of the institutions that are CDFI designated and which have some interest in helping entrepreneur and small business owners. The last barrier that we mentioned is modifying your money management styles and really thinking about your goals, budgets, and any debt that you might have, and how some additional financial education might be impactful and helpful to you. Financial institutions want their consumers and entrepreneurs to exceed. Because the reality is, when you succeed, then you bring more deposits, borrow more loans, and their profits are available to the institution to also succeed. Many banks and credit unions suggest that consumers use safe financial education services to improve their personal and business management skills. Many of them, in fact, provide access to these types of resources. And again, to give you a sense of the options out there, I'm going to select Chase Business Resource Center and show you what that looks like. So Chase has a business center, and their goal is to help guide you throughout the process with different sorts of stories that might be beneficial of how other small business owners and minorities and females are doing in growing their business, in developing their business, and how they find success. This might be a great way to inspire you and to motivate you as you continue forward. Bank of America's approach to small business lending is they create a community where people can advocate together, seek mentorship, and learn more about things like the Paycheck Protection Program or ask questions. It's discussion based with different topics from different members who have strengths and challenges and questions. So, if this might be an opportunity again for you to search and learn and watch some videos about others who are also small business owners and how they are succeeding in their communities and navigating challenges similar to the ones that you might be experiencing. And Wells Fargo works for small business, resource and guides to help take your business to the next step. Again, a similar approach where they have different resources, different articles, and different ways for you to connect, learn about surveys, learn about different tools, and learn about different opportunities to get engaged and grow your small business. So I hope recognizing that financial education is not just for your personal life in terms of learning how to budget and manage credit, but it can also be successful and helpful for your business life as well. And what I hope that you take from this as we get ready to transition to any questions that you might have today is the world in which we are living is changing. Are your finances changing with it? It's really important for you to sit down and identify what types of barriers are impeding your financial growth and success, again, both on your personal and professional life. And really think about what changes you can do and make in order to continue to thrive. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, Charles Darwin has observed or did observe, but it is really the one that is most adaptable and willing to be flexible in embracing change. Are you ready? Have you taken the steps necessary to embrace change so that your business can thrive in the new normal? I urge you to start with one step. You can decide whether you'd like to review your check systems report. You can decide whether you'd like to open a safe and affordable account. Perhaps it might be meaningful for you to learn how your institution works to prevent fraud and how you can be safe. There are people and places with which your bank and credit union are constantly connected with. Do you know who they are and what resources they might have available to assist you? And how about setting a goal to spend 30 minutes researching how to improve your business? Perhaps you can commit to doing that daily. Perhaps you can decide to do that weekly. But again, I ask you, what step are you going to start with? Because now is the right moment for you to start. I would like you at this time to share any questions you have with us in the chat box to let us know how this information might be able to assist you. And I want you to think about some possible prompts. What banking challenges have you experienced since the coronavirus? If you do not have a bank account, why not? Especially if you are an entrepreneur, small business owner. And how are you paying your bills? Think about and share with us, if you can, an institution where you had a positive experience. It's always important for me to know which are the institutions that are getting it right so that we can continue to motivate them and encourage them to keep staying involved in our communities. And what tips are you using to manage your funds during this pandemic? I believe that sharing our stories can be valuable for ourselves, but can also be valuable for those we share within our community. Please think about these prompts. Post your questions in the chat box now. And if you don't have any questions today, but you would like to be able to contact me at a later date, BankOn Maryland at cashmd.org is an email address that you can use. So again, bankonmaryland@cashmd.org. And do we have any other questions, Sue, in our chat box?
We do, Kylie. We have two. Does Be More Collab have a link to their website, or is that through CCCSMD?
It is through, you can, so the easiest way to find Be More is to go to the Cash MD website. If you're familiar with working with us at Cash, and under the, find the, under the second, see the second tab, but I can't remember the title of it. In Cash, let me just go ahead and escape out of here and find it for you. So if you go to the Cash Campaign of Maryland, under what we offer, and scroll down to Be More Collab and resources for entrepreneurs. And there you'll be able to find the Be More website through Cash. Be More is working to develop their own independent website, but these things do take time. So we ask you to be patient with them. You will also find, again, the list of the other nonprofits, Innovation Works, Kiva, and Mission Launch, that are also part of the Be More Collab.
Thank you. And then the last one is, what about a link for CDFI?
I think generally it's probably under one of these. You can Google what is a CDFI, but the CDFI website is cdfifund.gov. So it's part of the U.S. Department of the Treasury, and it will tell you more about what a CDFI is. And as I said, we do have several in our community. But one of the easiest ways to explain it is an organization, typically a financial institution, that is specifically geared towards an expanding economic opportunity in a specific area, so small business or home ownership. And they have small business funds, and they will basically assist you with how do you make yourself ready to be able to take advantage of funding from banks and credit unions. So do you have your small business plan? Do you understand the language around debt and equity loans and how those are different? Are you truly prepared to be able to answer questions of bankers, of venture capitalists when you're looking to finance your small business in particular? So I hope that that has been helpful.
Thank you. And Kylie, that's it for the questions. So I think at this time we will just conclude. Thank everyone for attending today, and please keep in mind all the other webinars that are available to you this week. Go on to www.mdcashacademy.org to sign up for any of those. And this recording will be up in a few days if you'd like to review it again or pass it along to any friends or family members. So Kylie, thanks so much for sharing this great information with us today.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks. Have a great day and be safe.